Hi, guys. My name is Kelly Brinn. I am a friend of Tara's. I'm a huge fan of her channeling. She's one of the best channelers I've ever seen. And today's topic is very exciting. It's a very exciting topic for me. And today we will be learning about clones. So we're not sure who is going to come through. But we're going to get some information today about clones and see what we can find out about this topic. And a little about me. I am an author of two books. I do energy healing. I wrote a book about energy healing, and I wrote a book about transhumanism and consciousness. And the topic of cloning is semi-related to the topic of transhumanism. So I'm sure we're going to get some information today about these topics so we can these channelings are very interesting because you can kind of get some information beyond what we're being given in the mainstream, and it gives you a lot to think about. So I'm hoping that we get some very interesting information on that today and a little bit more about me. I make my own orgone energy generators. I'm very into healing with energy. I do Reiki and shamanic healing, and you can learn more about my work, my books, my healing and orgone energy generators on my website, wuwuwoman.com, wuwuwoman.com. And yeah, I am excited to see what comes through today. And when you guys, after you watch the video, let us know in the comments what you think about cloning. Is this a technology we should be working with? And what are your thoughts on the matter? And it's a good energy today, so hopefully we'll see who will be picking up. And,
Okay.
all right, she's ready. Hi, who am I speaking with today?
Your kind is called our kind, the arachnids.
The arachnids. And what frequency band, what density do you reside in?
Our particular group is in the fourth dimension.
In the fourth dimension. And are you based here on Earth or on another planet?
We would be considered in a different quadrant outside of your solar system within this third density, but still residing in the fourth density. But we do have those who possess a higher self, so to speak, that is part of us.
So, what information do you have for us today on Earth about clones and about cloning?
It is not anything new for your species as well as your planet and for those who reside within this. Many have called it the box or the cube matrix. This is not new. This has occurred for many, many, many years if we are to look at linear time.
And so, would you say that human governments on Earth have already been cloning humans for some time? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, there is a reverse engineering of fourth dimensional technology.
Can you explain a little bit about how this technology works?
Yes, it is a mixture of what you might consider the organic third dimensional and also the fourth dimensional technology. So If we are to start at the very beginning, let's say we were to clone you, let's say, then we would take a discarded human, one that was not brought to life into this world, and we like to use it for its organic matter. Now, remember that we do not have the power, so to speak, to put a soul into form, but we can call in something that is a mixture of perhaps a bit of soul or energy and something inorganic, mixing it together to create an entirely new type of higher self, you might say, and place it into the individual. And if we were wanting to, let's say again, to clone you, we would have to sift through and make sure that at first the base model that we are working with has similar attributes to your own. But of course, we would have to fix and change things over time, depending on what it is that we are feeding it, not feeding it as an actual food, but in the energy that it is being fed with the host that it is working with. And eventually, this person being embedded with all of the feelings, the thoughts, and ideas of you would believe that they are indeed you as they become older. But of course, we do not have time for things to grow at the slow and steady rate of an actual human being born of natural birth, but of perhaps speeding up that process. And that process, albeit archaic in its use for now, is much more like a machine than it is the energy boxes that we have.
So you're saying you can bring a little bit of soul energy, like a soul essence of a person, into this clone, and then that is fed and developed?
Yes, we would have to say, for instance, get a bit of your essence if it was you that we were trying to recreate. So we would have to find a way to, at first, access what frequency you're at, understand what your, to put it in simple terms, a homing beacon. Everyone has a unique signature, an energetic signature, that although everything is interconnected, there are also individuals scattered throughout the dimensions. So what is your signature? We would have to figure out. Some might think that we must take a piece of your organic material, and in this third dimension at this time, technology-wise, they are using a bit of the actual organic material from the original host, while at the same time tapping into their energetic frequency, being able to replicate that energetic frequency through what you might consider artificial intelligence and placing it within the new vessel.
So you're saying it is like an artificial intelligence that is kind of trained to become like this person that is being cloned.
Yes, and they would have no idea that they were a clone at all, having their own thinking.
And to your knowledge, have there been humans cloned on Earth that have been well-known people and the population has been none the wiser?
Yes, anyone that has been needed for their face, so to speak, that they need to be in the public eye, or perhaps they need to be seen now and again to keep up the appearance that they are still alive and well. Yes.
Interesting. And um, currently here on Earth, we have a push for humans to merge biology with technology. Do you see this as a way to move humanity away from natural means of reproduction and into doing more cloning type of reproduction?
Yes, it is a way to clean up the reproduction, so to speak, where in the process that it is now, there are so many variables at play. There are the matrix itself, the ego itself, as well as the soul itself, creating a human being with its free will choices. It is less easy to control and to create what it is you want. And if you think about it, there are many humans on this planet that love to customize. They customize the cars that they drive, they customize their computers, they even customize their own appearance. So why not make it easier and customize the human from birth?
And do you see any spiritual repercussions from, instead of allowing the natural means of reproduction and being a biological being to occur, to um, going in towards this more unnatural, I'll say for lack of a better word, means of being a human and reproduction?
Yes, and we are fully aware that this experiment has taken place over and over again, and including Earth experiments 3, 2, 1, and future experiments. We understand that who you might refer to as the Greys have trouble with their reproduction. They were not as smart as they think when it comes to the cloning process. So we seek to fix that so that what had occurred with the gray species does not occur again. So there can still be natural reproduction, while at the same time, what the output is very much created by the individuals.
So you're speaking more of like designer babies, but still brought through by means of a natural reproduction. They're just kind of messing with the genes. That's what you're referring to.
Yes, but this is not something we are looking forward to for now, for all those who reside in the third dimension, as we are not just speaking about Earth, but we are just working with those who are more of an influence on the population, or even an influence in the animal kingdom, influences in the plant kingdom, so on and so forth, not just working with humans. So we seek to create what you might see as an alpha, or a beginning, so to speak. So this beginning clone number one, would be responsible for a whole generation, making sure that what is created after it is in alignment with the original clone. As there's too much deviation, if you take, let's say again, yourself, for example, and there are those that come after you, there would be too much variables, too many things outside of the box, too many things to go wrong. And in this way, we can control the environment and we control the output.
Is your species working with the cabal on Earth in these experiments?
You might say in the shadows or secret group. If you mean this by cabal, then yes.
So you are actively working with them, and it's these people are aware they're working with you, and it's just the general population that doesn't know about it.
It is not all of them, but perhaps a select few. But many are aware that there are things that they do not understand, and they are in agreement with what must be done.
So would you say the general goal of these cloning experiments is to create a population that's easier to control and has less, let's say, individual spirit and free will?
Yes, as you can already tell on your planet, when is free will at play, there can be much friction. There are too many ideas, too many ways of doing things, so things are not streamlined. In this way, we streamline everything so that, yes, the environment is controllable.
And you can see how a lot of humans would disagree with this and see it as not the right way to go, don't you? Do you see the point of view of the people who maybe want to keep things the way they are with natural reproduction and natural born souls?
We do see the other side, yes, but we are not in agreement with that. We believe that their focus is too narrow and they are not looking at the broader picture. We seek to streamline, we seek to rid everything that you might see as friction. If everyone is of the same thought, of the same essence, and working towards the same thing, you have a much stronger population than a population of chaos, and which is how we see it.
So you basically kind of want everyone to be like clones of each other with the same goals, same thought patterns, more like robots than humans, right?
Perhaps like a robot, yes, but also with a bit of that essence, the original organic matter or energetic matter, which of course resides outside of this dimension. When that is mixed in it, that is the spark that we need. We do not need just complacent robots. We need a bit of that spark in order to create things that are more expansive. We need a bit of the consciousness within that vessel.
But don't you see what you're doing is could possibly diminish that spark that you need? Is
That
that
is
a
what we
possible?
are to retain because, as you know, the Greys did not do so well on that matter, and we are seeking to remedy this, not for the Greys, although they will benefit from this as well, of course, but we do this for ourselves.
And um, what is your take? So you say you want humans to retain some spark, and that entails us being a conscious creator, creating not only children, but creating our reality. So you cannot is the reason you need us to maintain that spark is that we can't create anything without it.
That is correct. That spark is very powerful in when it comes to manifestation, when it comes to creating things that never were and pulling them from the ether, so to speak. But if we control what it is that that being manifests, then we believe we can create something that is error free.
So, what makes you think you have the right to control the evolution of humanity?
If humanity did not want us to create this form of evolution, all it needs to do is say no. But there are many that are on board with this. Your own vanity.
Yes, I think many of us will say no, although you may get some that do say yes, and we all have our own free will choices. Um, So, yeah, basically, the outcome of your experiments is to create a race of people that have a small spark of humanity, but are mostly like controllable robots for your own agendas. And do you have a particular agenda yourself that you would like to have humanity work towards?
Humanity and the beings within this dimension, as we said, we are not just working with Earth, but we seek to fill out or replicate what is here in the third dimension so that eventually we would understand what is happening here in the third dimension and we can get ourselves out with your help. Why do the work when you can have others do the work for you willingly?
So you are trapped in the third dimension and you are using these means to help yourself break out by using humans. That's correct?
We are in the fourth dimension, utilizing third dimensional technology, mixing it together so that we may transcend beyond this part of the fourth dimension that we reside in.
So humanity is evolving right now. You must know that out of third dimension. So do you seek to trap humanity in the third dimension for your own
If there are
means?
those who find themselves trapped, perhaps they trap themselves.
So if humanity raises its frequency up to fourth and fifth density, would they be beyond your ability to control them?
Yes.
Well then, folks, I think we know what to do. Um, all right. Thank you so much for giving me this information and speaking with me today. Do you have any last words you would like to tell the people?
Yes, remember that, yes, every being within this realm has a free will, but just know that many of you have already made your free will choice to be a part of our little experiment. And of course, there are those of you that are not on board with this particular experiment, and I encourage you to find something better than what we can create.
Thank you. Miss Taraback.
Yay!
Wow. Did you remember that?
A little bit. I always get like, I don't know, arachnids never like work well in my body. Like all like out of sync.
Yeah, I think they gave us the answer. They're trying to manipulate humanity for their own means. And they're they need us to keep our little bit of spark so that they can do their experiments. And if we don't have that natural soul essence spark, they can't do what they're doing. And if we ascend, they can't do what they're doing. So thanks for giving me that info. We know your game now, man.
Yeah. It's like they figure it, I mean, it was very like pompous energy where it's like, I could tell you our game plan because our game plan is so tight that we're just going to like win basically. So it's like, it doesn't matter, if we put it out there, but that's its thinking. But yeah, I remember seeing what it was showing me, like what it was doing with like babies, like fetuses, just like finding one that looks like what it is they're going to like replicate and then tweaking it here and there. And it was like, I don't know, like it was a weird, I don't really even know how to describe it because I haven't like seen anything like that on Earth, but like feeding it weirdly until it like grew quickly into like what it was trying to create, almost like blowing up a balloon like really fast, but it's like a human. It was really weird. I don't know.
That's a little creepy.
Yeah. Yeah. That was pretty creepy.
I mean, honestly, that's where our science is at. And so I think maybe the lesson when we have all these technologies coming out is that we need to be as spiritually evolved as the technology is so that the technology doesn't overtake us.
Yeah. And I feel like we just, there's shadow and light in everything. And so like maybe, to one degree, some people can see cloning as like, I don't know, good in some way. Like if you were trying to clone plants because we were all out of tomatoes for one reason or another, and now we have tomatoes again here on Earth or something. But we can also see the shadow aspect where it's like it's just controlling and manipulating a populace to like think like one. And even though that's the light side of that is the collective consciousness, like we all have each other's spots, but the shadow aspect is to think like one, controlled by one. Like that's a little different. But yeah, I encourage people keep going inwards, keep, growing and, just, trying to understand yourself as best as possible, like what, choices we're making consciously and subconsciously, because, as much as the light is working, there's an equal portion of the dark that is also, trying to get its thing.
Exactly. And by talking, it's interesting to kind of talk to the quote unquote other side, so to speak, because it's like I get to know what makes them tick. And in their mind, they're doing the right thing.
Mhm.
Like everybody thinks they're doing the right thing. But
Mhm.
if someone else's right thing is impeding on your right thing, you say no.
And then that's a free will violation. But yeah, I think that that's so interesting. Like when we channel positive polarity and negative polarity, is like both polarities think they're right. The positive polarity is like we're doing everything for the whole, and like that's our mission. And then the negative's like, no, that's wrong. You need to do everything for the self. And
Yeah.
everything like this, and so both believe they're right, and so I believe it's no right and no wrong, but it just depends on what polarity you are. So if we're positive polarity, of course we're going to be more in alignment with what the positive polarity wants, and not so much the other side. But it is good to understand that other side. If we are going to ascend, if we are going to grow, we have to be able to see light and shadow in everything and then make our choice.
100%. I agree with that, Tara. Awareness and knowledge of what is going on will only protect us, right?
Yes, knowledge is power, people.
Well, that was
Hey,
awesome.
thank you so much for asking these questions today and coming on with us. You guys, Kelly is amazing. I will make sure to put all of her information down below, so definitely check out her website and her social media. And yeah, thank you. And again, if there are other people that would like to be a guest interviewer with these channelings, go ahead and email me, Tara at kittensweightsandtarot.com. I think this is great. I love involving the community in this way. Like I said, we're all on different paths. We have different missions. We look at the world differently. We are different in our levels of like consciousness and understanding and awareness. And I think this is wonderful for asking questions, like really getting a nice mix of people, because that's what we are. We're a good mix of people here in the collective. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say thank you. Thank you for having me, Tara. This was fun.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you again, Kelly. And we will catch you next Monday. All right. Bye.
Bye.